Parasha Meditation, Parashat Chayei Sarah. So we're actually in Israel right now enjoying a lot of blessed rain that's making a lot of beautiful green things grow in the garden everywhere. And so that kind of time is actually perfect time to practice meditating in the field. I mean, the time in between rain and rain when everything smells so good and when it's so many beautiful things are sprouting forth. Going out to the garden, field, or forest that helps us to get in touch with Hashem's holy presence. This week's Parasha meditation is designed to help us feel Hashem's presence in nature and spiritualize the garment of our soul. So the first source for Jewish meditation is in Parashat Chayei Sarah. Rabbi Aryeh Kaplan discovered that the source is in Bereshit chapter 24, verse 63. V'yetze Yitzchak l'suach basadeh. And Yitzchak went out to meditate in the field, lifnot erev, towards evening. V'yisa enav, he lifted his eyes. V'yar v'hine gmalim ba'im, and he saw, behold, camels were coming. And so it's interesting that it mentioned that Yitzchak goes out to meditate in the field. Also, we're going to talk about the word that's used for meditate, lasuach. And actually, that word also means siach, which is a bush or plant. So there's like a connection here between the meditation and plants and nature, and perhaps even the verb for planting, possibly, as we're going to explore. But it's interesting to note that many of our great fathers and mothers were shepherders, because it would afford them a kind of lifestyle in nature with plenty of time for meditation, because they were secluded out in the field while taking care of flocks, wandering through the hills and valleys, and the shepherds separate from the noisy distractions of society that allows him or her to have inner time to have ample time for inner reflection. And so who were shepherders that we know? Avram, Yitzhak, Yaakov, every single one of the 12 tribes, and also Rachel, Moshe, and Moshe's wife Tzipporah as well. And it's not by chance. According to Rashi, when Yitzchak went out lasuach in the field, like lasuach to meditate, then what? Then hold on 1 second. And he was praying to Hashem. So also in Tehillim, the word lasuach is used like siach, like a conversation, specifically a conversation with God. And that's what it says, a prayer of the afflicted when he fainted and poured out his heart, sicho, poured out, lifnei Hashem. Okay, so praying in the field, as we mentioned, the suach is also connected to the plant. And so possibly Yitzchak was both praying and inspecting his crop. And possibly he went to do both at the same time. And that's what I think is so mind-boggling. He's both planting and talking to Hashem at the same time, praying to Hashem, because we know originally, the original prayer for mankind is to pray for the growth of the plants, as it says in Parashat Bereshit. All the plants had not yet come out of the ground, even though they were created on the third day of creation, on Yom Shlishi. They were still just waiting just below the surface of the earth, according to Rashi, until Adam could be there, la'avot et ha'adama, to work the earth. But another translation of la'avot, to work, is to actually to pray. And so there's absolutely a view that the purpose of man's prayer is to pray for the plants, because now we could just go to the supermarket or to the vegetable store and buy whatever plants we need, but that's not the original intention. Originally, what grows in your garden, that's what you have to eat, and that's your survival. So your prayer for that is the most essential. And that is what he did. That's how, and Yitzhak was really the master farmer. As we know, he planted and Hashem blessed him, and he could harvest 100 ears. Actually, in Hebrew, Mea Sha'arim, the name for a neighborhood in Jerusalem. At the same time, he was also praying for his soulmate, for his spiritual crop that he would have with his soulmate, that he didn't know yet that it was Rivka. So in any case, maybe Nachman is not the one who invented hitbodedut, the term of praying alone. There's an Italian commentary called Sforno, who was in the, I think, 14th century. He says specifically that Yitzhak went out lesuach pesateh, to meditate in the field, in order to have a quiet place where he would not be interrupted by other people and where he could speak undisturbed by Hashem. Okay, and later Rabbi Nachman popularized this concept. So let's start the meditation. Sit comfortable in your chair, close your eyes, and take several deep breaths. Breathe deeply and feel completely relaxed in all the limbs of your body. Imagine that you're alone in the middle of a lush field. There are no other people, only trees, shrubs, herbs, and grass. Enjoy looking at the lushness of the leaves, the textures of the branches, and allow yourself to feel the crispy, moist earth under your feet. Inhale the fresh smells of the leaves and grasses after the rain. Hear the rustling of the trees in the wind and the song of the birds on the branches. Taste the clean, fresh air as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Now imagine how all this beauty of nature inspires you to pour out your soul in the deepest prayer. As you pray, imagine how every blade of grass, every tree branch, every bird of the field joins your prayer. Imagine how the entire field becomes energized, sanctified, and synchronized with your breath of prayer. Visualize the letters that spell out the word Sadeh, field. First, the fiery sin with its 3 flames denoting Shinui, change. As you enter the new energy field of prayer, moving through the door of the letter Dalet, that also means Dalet, door, also means the poor, that has nothing of her own. Feel your own lowliness, how you possess nothing of your own, how you are an empty vessel ready to receive Hashem's blessing. As you move to visualize the last letter of the word Sadeh, field, the letter Hey, receive your gift from Hashem and manifest it into the 3 garments of your soul: thought, speech, and action. Now visualize the upper horizontal line of the Hey while imagining Hashem purifying your mind and filling it with His light. Then visualize the right vertical line of the hay while imagining that your speech receives divine illumination. Finally, as you visualize the unattached foot of the hay, imagine that all your actions become tuned up and synchronized with the divine will. Now visualize the entire word sadeh with the prefix hey, as in hasadeh. Hey sin dalet hey. V'chol siach hasadeh. Every plant in the field. Terem yeh ba'aretz. Was not yet in the land. V'chol esav hasadeh terem yitzmach. Every herb of the field had not yet sprouted forth, because man was not yet there to work the earth. Hasadeh includes sin and a dalet of Hashem's name, Shaddai. The numerical value of each hay is 5, adding up to the 10 of the Yud. Breathing in as you're visualizing Shah. Breathe out as you envision Dai. Repeat this another few times. Shah, Dai. Shah, Dai. Shah, Dai. The name Shaddai refers to God's power to make his divinity conscious and accessible to every one of his creatures, regardless of the spiritual state. Imagine Hashem's power entering into every part of your life and being. Visualize yourself at work. Allow Hashem's power to enter the field of your work. Envision yourself at home. Allow Hashem's power to enter the field of your home. Imagine yourself in relationship with those close to you. Allow Hashem's power to enter the field of your relationships. Envision yourself deeply in thought. Allow Hashem's power to enter the field of your contemplation. When you are ready, you may tap your hands on the table and your feet on the floor, and then open your eyes, feeling refreshed, invigorated, and revitalized.